The poem I'm going to be reading today is Talk by Terrance Hayes. Like a nigger now, my white friend, M said, after my MLK and Ronald Reagan impersonations. The two of us alone and shirtless in the locker room. And if you're thinking my knuckles knocked a few times against his jaw or my fingers knotted at his throat, you're wrong because I pretended. I didn't hear him. And when he didn't ask it again, we slipped into our middle school uniforms, since it was November, the beginning of basketball season, and jogged out onto the court to play together. And that vision all Americans wish for their children. And the point is, we slipped into our uniform harmony and spit out "Go Team," our hands stacked on or beneath the hands of our teammates. And that was as close as I may have come to passing for one of the members of the dream. My white friend thinking I was so far from that word that he could say it to me, which I guess he could since I didn't let him taste the salt and iron in the blood. I didn't teach him what it's like to squint through a black eye. And if I had, I wonder if he would have grown up to be the kind of white man who believes all blacks are thugs. Or if he would have learned to bite his tongue or let his belly be filled by shame. But more importantly, would I be the kind of black man who believes silence is worth more than talk? Or that it can be a kind of grace? Though I'm not, that's the kind of black man I've become. And in any case, M, wherever you are, I'd just like to say I heard it. But I let it go because I was afraid to lose our friendship. Or afraid we'd lose the game, which we did anyway. I just want to start off by saying that's a great poem by Terrance Hayes. He talks about something that could be very, very precious, very, fragile to talk about with some people, which is race. He starts off the poem very strong in a way that almost makes you wondering what's going to happen throughout the poem, because the first three words it says nigger, which isn't a word that is not a word that should be said in a society. That's a word that's frowned upon, and it should be. But the way he says it has such an impact throughout the poem. He's talking about him when he was in middle school. He's a black guy, young black kid, and his best friend's a white guy. And they both play basketball together on the middle school team. And basically before a game, they're in there, and they're joking around, doing MLK and Ronald Reagan impersonations, and his white friend slips out and says the N-word. And Terrance, as he writes in the poem, he kind of just steps back and acts like he doesn't hear his friend say the word because he's too afraid that his friendship or the team is going to suffer from that, him reacting to this. He believes that his friend's so irrelevant. His friend doesn't even look at him as a nigger, so therefore his friend doesn't see any problem with saying that. But Terrance, when he writes this, he puts a lot of caring and thought into the way that the black man reacts in this situation. He talks about how he could very easily just let the white kid have it, punched him right beside the face, gave him a black eye, and let him experience what it was like to go through to say that word why you shouldn't. But at the same time, Terrance is worried or thinks that if he does that, then the white kid's gonna think all black guys are thugs because he punched me because I said that. Or maybe it taught him a lesson and he would never say that word again. But Terrance overlooks it, and I think it's significant because this poem's so significant because it's such a crucial thing that happens in society today. Some white people or Hispanic or black or whoever think it's okay to call people that word just because it's what the world has labeled them, which it's not at all. And I think it's significant because it shows how the black man in the poem is very humble about it. He doesn't get so angry at the white man for saying it as if the white man is ignorant enough to say it, as if he doesn't know what he's saying. He says that he thinks I'm so far from the word that he can say it to me. And what I think Terrance is trying to get across in this is, yes, if somebody says this to you or somebody uses a word, you can get mad and you can fight them and you can, try to teach them a lesson. But at the end, that's not showing yourself grace. He has so much grace for himself that he doesn't let it get to him. He doesn't make a scene out of it. He just acts like he ignores it. And he does it for the greater of the friendship. He does it for the greater of the team. And I think that shows how humble he is. And I think the significance is to show people that, yes, people can be idiots and say words like that they shouldn't, but if you're humble enough and you're graceful enough for yourself that it shouldn't bother you because you know you're not that. And there's a greater purpose that you have, and there's no reason to make a scene and cause the team harm or his friendship harm when his friend was saying it out of context. His friend was saying it as in he thought he could because he was so far from the word. Terrance says, let's see. He also talks about, he says, and spit out go team, our hands stacked on and beneath the hands of our teammates, and that was as close as I may have come to passing for one of the members of the dream team. Terrance talks about here about how he's basically the only black kid on the team, and he's kind of looked down upon. But Terrance doesn't feel as if when his white friend M says this, that he's saying it in a downgrading way. Basically, the significance of the whole poem is that no matter who calls you what, have the grace and humility enough to let it go because there's a greater purpose in there. It's not worth letting them feel the salt and the iron in the blood that they would taste if you do react. I have enjoyed reading this poem. I think it taught me something as a person, just about, not that I say the word, but I've heard people say the word, and not even that word, but any word that you can call somebody, it teaches you a lot. Makes you really think about what's behind the saying of the word, what the meaning is, what reaction, affection it can have on somebody. So I think Terrance does a good job of, kind of letting everybody see the impact that saying such a thing has, whether you mean it or whether you don't. But I think it's a great thing that he wrote this poem, and I think it definitely will help people in certain situations. So I think the main point, just real quick, is, be humble enough to walk away and not let things like that affect you, because you know that that's not you. You have the grace enough to be the bigger person. Thank you.